Does everyone want Jesus? Coming up. What's up, world? Jonathan Siever back with you. Today we're going to continue our series, Trite Christian Phrases. And a trite phrase is something that's said so many times that it starts to lose some of its meaning. This week we're going to look at the phrase, everyone wants Jesus. Everyone wants Jesus. Is that true? Does everyone want Jesus? Another line that goes with it is, if people could really see Jesus as he was, everyone would want him. Or sometimes there's a question that goes with it of, if we could see Jesus as he really was in all his love and beauty and glory, how could anyone not want Jesus? So I want to dive in with you. Is this statement true? So let's look at a few examples from the Bible of how people responded to Jesus. First up, the Pharisees. The Pharisees were the religious leaders of the time. There was a lot of legalism. There was a lot of Pharisaicalism. I don't know if that's a word. The Pharisees were very legalistic. They were very opposed to Jesus. And these were people that saw Jesus as he was, in his perfection, in his love, in his mercy, in his truth, in his way of not being afraid of anyone and just speaking what needed to be spoken into a situation. The Pharisees saw Jesus as he was, and they did not want him. And you could say maybe if Jesus was a little nicer to them, maybe if he wasn't so hard on them, maybe if he just loosened up, then they would want him. But Jesus was perfect. They saw the perfect man. And not only that, but the more miracles he did, the more powerful miracles he did, such as raising Lazarus after 4 days in the grave, the more powerful the miracle, the more they wanted to kill him. And so it wasn't of, Jesus, just be, do a greater miracle, then they'll believe. Be a little more this or a little more that. He was the perfect man, and the greater the things he did, the more they hated him. Number 2, Judas. Judas saw even more things than the Pharisees. He saw Jesus in his secret teachings, in his inner moments. He saw whether Jesus was practicing what he preached. He saw if he was actually living it when he wasn't up on stage. He saw Jesus as he was, and yet he still, for some reason in his heart, hated Jesus and turned from Jesus. Jesus actually said to Judas that it would be better for Judas's sake that he was never born. That's an incredibly strong statement. But Judas saw the perfect man. For 3.5 years he walked with him, and he still did not want him. He still resisted him. Number 3, Satan and demons. Satan and demons were angels in heaven. They had perfect relationship with God. They had unhindered access to the glory of God. They saw him as he was, and yet something in their heart, despite seeing him in all his perfection and all his beauty, they still turned and rebelled and did not want God. And so you could say if people just saw him in his glory, then they would accept him. But angels and demons, they have personalities too. They're not just forces. They have desires. They have things they want. They have things they don't want. They saw Jesus. They saw God in all his glory and still turned away from him. For some of you that believe this statement, everybody wants Jesus, some of my friends, some of my favorite speakers believe this statement, I just encourage you to consider the examples of Pharisees, Judas, Satan, and the demons. For those of you that do not come from a Christian background, I encourage you to look into who Jesus was, what he actually said when he was on earth, what he actually did, and decide for yourself, not based on my opinion or something you read from some article online, but actually what Jesus said and did. And even consider praying the dangerous prayer, God, if you're actually out there, God, if you're actually there somewhere, show yourself to me. I believe God can do that in a personal way that's actually specific and meaningful to you, not something that would appeal to someone somewhere else in the world or not my own personal experience, but I think he can actually show himself to you in a way that means something to you. Some of you grew up in a Christian home and you're thinking, been there, done that, didn't work out for me. I want to challenge you that some of you could be looking at Jesus through the lens of a leader who failed you. Some of you had parents who practiced one thing or did one thing on Sundays at church and lived a totally different life the rest of the week. Some of you had a Christian leader that was preaching one thing and it turned out they were actually sleeping around or cheating on their wife, cheating on their husband. I want to challenge you to consider afresh looking at Jesus, not through the lens of that person you're mad at, not through the lens of that person who failed you, but as he actually is. So wrapping it all up, I don't believe this phrase that everyone wants Jesus for the examples I give, but I do believe there's people out there who have seen him through a skewed view, have seen him through the view of someone who was saying one thing and actually doing something very different. And it's sad to say, but I've actually been that person sometime. I've been the one who was telling friends, oh, believe in Jesus, but was also being very selfish in the friendship or in the relationship. So I would challenge each of you, no matter where you are on the scale, to do whatever it takes to see Jesus as he really is. If this video blessed you, if this was thought-provoking to you, if you have thoughts going through your mind, I'm sure a lot of you have different thoughts in your mind about this topic. Leave me a comment below. I love interacting with you guys. It's been great already hearing from you. Hit the like button. If you've had this discussion with someone, shoot this video out on Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp and share it with a friend. For my YouTubers out there, hit the subscribe button. Love to you all. See you next week.